My name is Jeremy Pagan. I'm the Director of Development Services for the City of Redding, also the city's building official. Here today to give you a brief recap on what we took to Council a few weeks ago, which was bringing forth the update to the California Building Standards Code. And so this is really intended to be sort of for the audience of our builders in town, contractors, engineers, architects, anyone that has involvement in the development world. This video is for you. And so first, before I get started with my recap, what is the building code? We call it the California Building Standards Code. You might hear it be called Title 24. I'm just going to simply call it the building code. And what does it do? The building code sets the minimum standards for design, construction, and maintenance of buildings and structures in California. It's a multi-part code. It's thousands of pages, multiple binders. It's a really complex code, but it deals with things like your electrical systems, mechanical systems, plumbing systems, the built environment, energy requirements, fire code, on and on the list goes, right? It's lots of pages, but it's making sure that our buildings at the end of the day are safe, right? The minimum standards for the design, construction, and maintenance of buildings. So what's changing in the 2025 building code that's significant? Wildland-urban interface. More and more, wildfire is a big part of California, and so we're seeing new requirements for ignition-resistant construction, fire hardening, defensible space standards. Electric readiness. California is decarbonizing. They're moving away from fossil fuels. So you're going to continue to see a push towards electric-only appliances in the built environment. EV infrastructure. We all probably have an electric vehicle or know someone that does have an electric vehicle. So expanded requirements are coming with new construction. So when you build a commercial building or you build a new apartment building, there's more and more requirements for electric vehicle charging spaces. And those have to get installed as part of construction of a building. That's going to add more costs and more complexity to projects in the future. And building envelope and air quality, enhanced insulation. Of course, in California, we're really energy conscious. So you're going to see continued push for our buildings to be more energy efficient. And then accessibility and sustainability are always key topics in California, but less so than those other topics I just mentioned. Okay. We have the ability to make local code changes. And for a long time, the City of Redding has taken the building code and we've actually made it more stringent for decades now. We're proposing to Council, and Council at this point has accepted, to repeal some of these local requirements, which I think is a big deal for our development community. First one I want to highlight is snow load. So we've for a long time had a 30 pounds per square foot snow load in this city. Actually, that dates back to the 60s and 70s. What's a big deal about this code is that now the code has established a minimum standard for snow load. Before this code cycle, there was no number. Now it calculates the number for us, and we've seen that the number ranges from about 20 to 25, 26 pounds a square foot. We met with local engineers and architects. We talked about this with the design group, and everyone was in agreement. Hey, let's change it to the minimum code standards. That's going to be a big win for two reasons. One, the load is lighter, so that can mean your structures have to support, at the end of the day, less load. That means you save money on framing members and foundations. Number two, you're going to design a building in Redding the same way you're going to design a building elsewhere in the state. So if I'm an engineer and I work in Sacramento and I'm getting work here in Redding as an engineer, the same rules apply here as they do there, and that can be a point of confusion. In fact, we've seen a lot of out-of-town designers and architects struggle because they come to our jurisdiction and we play by different rules. So we're applying the same standard as everyone else, which is going to make it easier for designers to design projects. The second one I wanted to highlight is sprinklers. Up to this point, for the past number of decades, we've required if you do a remodel or addition of a single-family home and it's more than 50% of the square footage, you have to put sprinklers in that home if it doesn't have sprinklers already. We're getting rid of that requirement so that if you're remodeling an old house and it doesn't have sprinklers, we won't require you to put sprinklers in the house based on that remodel. That can save tens of thousands of dollars in construction costs. I think that's going to be a really big win for our housing and for our local development community and construction. And then a few small ones, seismic design parameters we got rid of, concrete and masonry wall requirements. Vapor barriers is that plastic sheet that goes under slab-on-grade construction. We used to require that thing to be about 3 times as thick as the code requires. We got rid of that too. So those are minor items, but every little bit helps in terms of reducing construction costs and making building in California easier. And the city's attempting to do that for our community. So last thing I want to highlight is at the state level, AB 130 and future building code updates. The state recognizes that we need housing reform. The state recognizes that we need to streamline approvals. We need to somehow incentivize housing so we have more of it. And so they're freezing the building code. This is a big deal. For the next 6 years, for residential construction, the building code will not change. And so the building code normally changes every 3 years. Now they've doubled that so that builders, contractors, engineers, architects have consistency in the code for the next 6 years. That's a big deal. Limited code amendments for the next 6 years. Local jurisdictions can't make changes to the building code either for the next 6 years. Again, providing consistency in the regulations. And then lastly, there's what we're calling the model home rule. And so if a set of plans is submitted to the City of Redding tomorrow, and we approve that set of plans, it's going to be valid for 10 years of construction. That is a major shift from where we are now, because like I said, the building code updates every 3 years. So a set of plans could conceivably have to be updated 2 or 3 times in that 10-year cycle. You'd have to keep resubmitting them to the city, pay fees for plan check, change your construction, right? The cost of the construction of the home will go up each time because there's more requirements. All that goes away for the model home rule, meaning you can have a set of plans that's good for 10 years of construction in the city, which is a great win, I think, for local developers and a win for the community because it'll keep costs down, it'll keep construction consistent and predictable, and so a major win for our city. So we're working hard. We're in California. There's a lot of regulations in California. What can we do at the local level to take away some of those regulations and make building and construction easier and more affordable in our city? So I think we've accomplished some of that. And again, effective January 1st, 2026, this will go into effect for our city. And we're going to be seeing that have a good positive impact on our community.